ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. We are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 24, chanting the song sung by Lord Shiva. That is Rudra Gita. So we are at text 53. Text 53. एतद्रूपम् अनुध्येयम् आत्मशुद्धिम् अभीप्सिताम् यद्भक्तियोगा अभयः दः सत्त्वधर्मम् अनुतिष्ठताम्. Translation.
My dear Lord, those who desire to purify their existence must always engage in meditation upon your lotus feet as described above. Those who are serious about executing their occupational duties and who want freedom from fear must take to this process of Bhakti Yoga. Purport. It is said that the transcendental name, form, pastimes, and entourage of the Lord cannot be appreciated by the blunt material senses. Therefore, one has to engage himself in devotional service so that the senses may be purified and one can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Here, however, it is indicated that those who are constantly engaged in meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord are certainly purified of the material contamination of the senses and are thus able to see the Supreme Lord face to face. The word meditation is very popular in this age amongst the common people, but they do not. However, from the Vedic literature, we learn that the yogis are always absorbed in meditation upon the lotus feet of the Lord. ध्यानावस्थिता ततगतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति yam yoginah. Bhagavatam 12.13.1. This is the real business of the yogis. So think of the lotus feet of the Lord. Lord Shiva therefore advises that one who is actually serious about purification must engage himself in this type of meditation or in the mystic yoga system, which will help him not only to see the Lord within constantly, but to see him face to face and become his associate in Vaikuntha Loka or Goloka Vrindavan. The word Swadharmam, as in Swadharmam Anutishtatham, indicates that the system of Varnashrama, which indicates the occupational duties of the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, and which is perfect institution for humanity, must be supported by Bhakti Yoga if one at all wants security in life. Generally, people think that simply by executing the occupational duties of a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra, or the duty of a brahmachari, grahastha, vanaprastha, or sannyasi, one becomes fearless or securely attains liberation. But factually, unless all these occupational duties are accompanied by bhakti yoga, one cannot become fearless. In Bhagavad Gita, there are descriptions of karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, dhyana yoga, etc. But unless one comes to the point of bhakti yoga, these other yogas cannot help one attain the highest perfection of life. In other words, bhakti yoga is the only means of for liberation. We find this conclusion also in Chaitanya Charitamrita in a discussion between Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Rai. regarding a human being's liberation from this material world. In this discussion, Ramananda Rai referred to the execution of Varnashrama Dharma. And Lord Chaitanya indicated that Varnashrama Dharma was simply external, eho bahya. Lord Chaitanya wanted to impress upon Ramananda Rai that simply by executing the duties of Varnashrama Dharma, one is not guaranteed liberation. Finally, Ramananda Rai referred to the process of Bhakti Yoga. Sthane sthitaha shruti gatam tanu van manobhihi, Bhagavatam 10.14.3. Regardless of one's condition of life, if he practices Bhakti Yoga, which begins with hearing Shruti Gatam, the transcendental messages of Lord through the mouths of devotees, he gradually conquers the unconquerable God. God is known to be unconquerable, but one who submissively hears the words of a self-realized soul conquers the unconquerable. The conclusion is that if one is serious about liberation, he not only should execute the occupational duties of Varnashrama Dharma, but should also engage in Bhakti Yoga by beginning hearing from a realized soul. This process will help the devotee conquer the unconquerable Supreme Personality of Godhead and become his associate after giving up the material body. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Now here, Lord Shiva further prays to the Lord. My dear Lord, those who desire to purify their existence must always engage in meditation on your lotus feet. And then, yad bhakti yogena abhayadaha. Abhayadaha means which award freedom from fear, abhaya, and take this and should take this process of bhakti yoga. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that the transcendental name, form, pastimes, and the entourage of the Lord cannot be appreciated by material senses. Atah Sri Krishna Navadi na bhavet grahyam indrayai sevanmukhe jivvadau swayameva spuratyadaha. That we have natural liking for material activities, and it appears as if a natural distaste for spiritual activities. Even 4 o'clock in the morning, we may feel, why to chant Hare Krishna. And night 12 o'clock, even after dead tired, if somebody switches on Netflix, we can very happily go on for next 2-3 hours, right? This is because the senses are trained materially for lifetimes. But one has to begin. Atah Sri Krishna. Right. One has to begin, especially by tongue. And Prabhupada says the tongue has two functions. One is to vibrate, another is to taste. One should take Krishna Prasad and one should chant the holy names, and then senses will slowly begin to be engaged. Another thing is meditation. And Prabhupada says meditation has become very popular these days. But meditation has to be dhyana vasthita yadgatena manasa muhyanti yam yogina. The meditation is not on anything. Meditation is not on something. Meditation is not on the void. What to meditate on? Even Patanjali Muni has very clearly described form of the Lord, Vishnu Murti, one should be meditating on, which is already being described here by Lord Shiva to the Prachetas. And this is how the real business of a yogi is to think the lotus feet of the Lord. It is not about some fantastic idea of thinking some voidism or something like that. The yogis, they should be meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord. And then, this is how Prabhupada says, Lord Shiva advises one who is actually serious about the purification must engage himself in this type of meditation. And then what happens? What is the result of this meditation? 3 results. One will start seeing the Lord within himself. Yam Shama Sundaram Achintya Gunaswarupam. And then eventually one will see the Lord face to face, as we have seen in the case of Dhruva Maharaj. Okay. Dhruva Maharaj is classic example of this. First he was seeing the Lord within himself by the instruction of Narada Muni. Then he saw the Lord on face to face, and eventually one will become associate of the Lord in Vaikuntha Loka or Golok Vrindavan. Right. Another thing is Swadharma. So what is this Swadharma? Swadharma refers to Varnashrama Dharma. According to one's psychophysical nature, Gunakarma Vibhagashaha, one is categorized as Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, or Sannyasi, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and brahmachari. But this varnashrama acharan also has to be supported by bhakti yoga. And therefore, Prabhupada quotes here the discussion between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai, where what is the highest perfection? And Ramananda Rai quoted, Varnashrama acharvat purushena purappaman. And Mahaprabhu said, Eho bhaiya. No. Simply acting under Varnashram is not enough. Simply doing, work is worship is not enough, right? So, what is required is one has to be engaged in bhakti yoga. What to speak of the material activity of Varnashram, even the transcendental activity of Nishkarmyam, if it is devoid of devotional service, it does not suit a devotee, right? Suit a personality. Nishkarmyam api achyuta bhava varjitam na shobhate. It is na shobhate. So any activity, material activity, or even so-called non-material, or the transcendental activity cannot be complete without devotional service. And therefore, sthane sthita shrutigatan tanuvak manobhi. One has to be engaged in bhakti yoga, and especially shrutigatan, hearing from the pure devotee of the Lord. And when following a life of varnashram, following a life of varnashram means a responsible citizen according to one's psychophysical nature, and simultaneously hearing about the glories of the Lord, this process of bhakti yoga, then what happens? Ajito jito bihi. Even the unconquerable Lord is conquered by such a devotee. And therefore, Prabhupada says, those who are serious about liberation, along with following the duties of Varnashram, which is very, very important, as per one's age, Deshakala Patra, one's inclinations and one training. One has to follow the Varnashram Dharma, and also one has to begin the Bhakti Yoga process from hearing from a realized soul, just like we are hearing from Srila Prabhupada every day in the morning. Prabhupada purports, right? And this is the way one can ajito jitopi, conquer the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as Ajitaha. Text 54. भवान् भक्तिमता लभ्यो दुर्लभः सर्वदेहिनां स्वाराज्यस्य अभिमतम् एकान्तेन आत्मविद्गतिः. Translation.
Translation: My dear Lord, the King in charge of the heavenly kingdom is also desirous of obtaining the ultimate goal of life, devotion service. Similarly, you are the ultimate destination of those who identified themselves with you. Aham Brahmasmi. However, it is very difficult for them to attain you, whereas a devotee can very easily attain your lordship. Purport: as stated in Brahma Samhita, Vedeshu Durlabham Adurlabham Atma Bhaktau. This indicates that it is very difficult for one to attain the ultimate goal of life and reach the supreme destination, Vaikuntha Loka or Goloka Vrindavan, simply by studying Vedanta philosophy or Vedic literature. However, this highest perfection stage can be attained by the devotees very easily. That is the meaning of Vedeshu Durlabham Adurlabham Atma Bhaktau. The same point is confirmed by Lord Shiva in this verse. The Lord is very difficult for the Karma Yogis, Jnana Yogis, and Dhyana Yogis to attain. Those who are Bhakti Yogis, however, have no difficulty at all. In the word Swarajasya, Swar refers to Swargaloka, the heavenly planet, and Swaraja refers to the ruler of the heavenly planet, Indra. Generally, Karmis desire elevation to heavenly planets, but King Indra desires to become perfect in Bhakti Yoga. Those who identify themselves as Aham Brahmasmi, I am the Supreme Brahman, one with the absolute truth, also ultimately desire to attain perfect liberation in the Vaikuntha planet or Goloka Vrindavan. In Bhagavad Gita 18.55, it is said, Bhaktaya Mam Vijanati Bhavatya Chashmi Tato Vaha. Mam Tattvato Gyatva Vishte Tada Nantaram. One can understand the Supreme Personality as is only by devotional service. And when one is fully conscious of the Supreme Lord by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. Thus, if one desires to enter into the spiritual world, he must try to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by practicing Bhakti Yoga. Simply by practicing Bhakti Yoga, one can understand the Supreme Lord in truth. But without such understanding, one cannot enter the spiritual kingdom. One may be elevated to the heavenly planet or may realize himself as Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, but that is not the end of realization. One must realize the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by Bhakti Yoga, then real perfection of life is attained. Hare Krishna.
भवान् भक्तिमता लभ्यो दुर्लभः सर्वदेहिनां स्वाराज्यस्य अभिमतः. So the Swarajyasya Abhimatah, the king in charge of the heavenly kingdom, is also Bhavan Bhakti Mata Labhyo, is desiring the ultimate goal of life, that is devotional service. Similarly, oh my Lord, you are the ultimate destination of those who are the Jnanis involved in realizing Aham Brahmasmi. However, it is very difficult for them to attain you, whereas devotees can attain you very easily. So, Bhagavad Gita very clearly explains here there are two personalities. Those who have attained a very high material position, what they are looking for? They are looking for devotional service. Recently, there was a video of Anil Agarwal, okay, who is the many times billionaire, and he is owner of the Vedanta group of industries. And he is, chanting Hare Krishna. He has come to Radha Gopinath temple and giving a short clip on Srimad Bhagavatam, because Bhadra Purnima is coming. We will be involved in Bhagavatam distribution everywhere. So such highly materially advanced people, up to Lord Indra, they look for engagement in devotional service. Yogis also looked for to become one with the Supreme Aham Brahmasmi, but their path is difficult. However, devotees attain the Lord very easily. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada quotes Brahma Samhita, Vedeshu Durlabham Adurlabham Atma Bhakto. It is very rare to attain the Supreme Lord through Vedas, but Atma Bhakto, through a devotee of the Lord, one can very easily attain the Supreme Lord. Right? Simply by studying Vedanta philosophy or Vedic literature, it is very difficult to attain the Supreme Lord. We have that celebrated verse. Which is that verse? Kleshu adhikatarastesham avyakta asaktascetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkham dehavadbhir avapyate. The path is filled with klesha, the destination is klesha, the process is klesha. Whereas for a devotee, the same perfectional stage can be attained very, very easily. Yomam smrati nityashah tasyaham sulabha partha. Sulabha. Right. Devotional service is very easy to perform and simultaneously very joyful. Keval ananda kanda. And therefore, it is difficult for karma yogi, jnana yogi, dhyana yogi to attain, but bhakti yogi can very easily attain. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yachasmi tatvatah. Tato mam vishwato gyatva vishate tadanantaram. Devotee can understand the Supreme Lord Tattvataha, and as a result of understanding the Supreme Lord Tattvataha, they enter into the planet of the Tattvataha, that is the Vaikuntha Loka. So Prabhupada writes here, if one desires to enter into spiritual world, he must try to understand the Supreme by practicing Bhakti Yoga and Bhakti Yoga alone. There is no need to perform any other yoga. And on the contrary, every other yoga without performing Bhakti Yoga are incomplete and will not lead to the desired result. Right? And next comes a very, very highly celebrated verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. And mind you, this is spoken by Lord Shiva himself. Right? So text 55. Amazing verse. We will recite this. Very important verse. Yeah. Tam duraraध्यमाराध्य
Tam duraratyam आराध्य
सतामपि दुरापया
सतामपि दुरापया
एकान्तभक्त्यो को वाञ्छेत्
एकान्तभक्त्या
भक्त्या
कोवाञ्छेत्
पादमूलं विना बहिः.
पादमूलं विना बहिः.
Translation.
My dear Lord, pure devotional service is even difficult for liberated persons to discharge, but devotional service alone can satisfy you. Who will take to other processes of self-realization if he is actually serious about the perfection of life? Purport. The word Satam refers to transcendentalists. There are three kinds of transcendentalists: the Jnani, Yogi, and Bhakta. Out of these three, the Bhakta is selected as the most suitable candidate to approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is emphasized here in that only one who is outside devotional service would not engage in searching for the lotus feet of the Lord. Foolish people sometimes maintain that God may be attained in any way, either by Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, etc. But here it is clearly stated that it is impossible to obtain the mercy of the Lord by any means but Bhakti Yoga. The word Duraradhya is especially significant. It is very difficult to attain the lotus feet of the Lord by any method other than Bhakti Yoga.
Here Lord Shiva personally says, Tam duraradhyam aradhya, satam api durapaya. That, my dear Lord, pure devotional service is even difficult for the liberated persons to discharge. But it is the devotional service alone can satisfy you, who will take the other process of self-realization, if one is serious about perfection. Now, this is the verse spoken by Lord Shiva. Not only he is one of the 12 Mahajans, he is also a Samsthapak Acharya of a Rudra Sampradaya, and very strongly recommending only and only pure devotional service. Srila Prabhupada explains Satam means transcendentalist, and there are three types: Jnanis, Yogis, and Bhaktas. But out of these three, Bhaktas are selected to be the most suitable candidate for to approach the Supreme Lord. So sometimes foolishly people say, Yatomat Tatopat, one can desire whatever one want to do, one can do it. And this is, the oversimplification of the Hinduism. And people just want to do anything and everything. And there is such a hodgepodge. But here, Lord Shiva, generally these people are impersonalistic, following one way or another Adi Shankaracharya, who is the incarnation of Lord Shiva. And here Lord Shiva directly says that one has to, if one wants to obtain something impossible, that is abode of the Supreme Lord, Duraradhyam, then it is only and only the devotional service, Bhakti Yoga, that one has to be engaged. It is not that anything and everything. Text 56. Yatra nirvishthamaranam krutanto nabhimanyate vishvam vidvansayam virya shaurya vispurjita bhruva. Translation.
Simply by expansion of his eyebrows, invisible time personified can immediately vanquish the entire universe. However, formidable time does not approach the devotee who has taken complete shelter at your lotus feet. Purport: in Bhagavad Gita 10.34, it is said that the Lord, in the shape and form of death, destroys all a person's possessions. Mrityur sarva harascha ham. I am all devouring death. The Lord, in the shape of death, takes away everything that is created by the conditioned soul. Everything in this material world is subject to perish in due course of time. However, all the strength of time cannot hamper the activities of a devotee, for a devotee takes complete shelter under the lotus feet of the Lord. For this reason only is a devotee free from formidable time. All the activities of karmis and jnanis, which have no touch of devotional service, are spoiled in due course of time. The material success of the karmis is destined to be destroyed. Similarly, the impersonal realization attained by the jnanis is also destroyed in due course of time. Aruhya kachena param padam tata patanti adho nidra shudmat agriya. Bhagavatam 10.2.32. To say nothing of the karmis, the jnanis undergo severe austerities to attain the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. But because they do not find the lotus feet of the Lord, they fall down again into this material existence. Unless one is fully situated in unalloyed devotional service, there is no guarantee of liberation. Even if one is elevated to the heavenly planets or to the impersonal Brahman effulgence. A devotee's achievement, however, is never lost by the influence of time. Even if a devotee cannot completely execute devotional service, in his next life he begins from the point where he left off. Such an opportunity is not given to the karmis and gyanis, whose achievements are destroyed. The bhakta's achievement is never destroyed, for it goes on perpetually, be it complete or incomplete. This is the verdict of all Vedic literatures. Suchinam Shrimatam Gehe Yoga Bhrasto Vijayate. If one is unable to complete the process of Bhakti Yoga, he is given a chance in his next life to take birth in a pure family of devotee or in a rich family. In such families, a person can have good opportunity to further progress in devotional service. When Yamraj, the superintendent of death, was instructing his assistant, he told them not to approach the devotees. The devotees should be offered respect, he said, but do not go near them. Thus, the devotees of the Lord are not under the jurisdiction of Yamraj. Yamraj is a representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he controls the death of every living entity, yet he has nothing to do with the devotees. Simply by blinking his eyes, time personified can destroy the entire cosmic manifestation, but he has nothing to do with the devotee. In other words, devotional service which is rendered by the devotee in this lifetime can never be destroyed by time. Such spiritual asset remain unchanged, being beyond the influence of time. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Now Lord Shiva prays, Yatra nirvishthamaranam krutanto nabhimanyate. Simply by expansion of his eyebrows, the invincible time can vanquish entire universe. However, even such a formidable time, which can vanquish the entire universe, does not approach a devotee who has taken shelter of your lotus feet. So this is prayer to the Supreme Lord, Lord Shiva is praying. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada quotes Bhagavad Gita, Mrityu sarva haraschaham, that the Mrityu in the form of death, the Lord is all devouring. Right. So in the shape of the death, he takes away everything of the conditioned soul, and everything material is subjected to perish in the due course of time. And that is the supreme strength. But this strength of the time does not act on devotee. Srila Prabhupada explains, just like all the achievements of the karmis, they are snapped off at the time of death. Like somebody may have become PhD, or somebody has become, like Ronaldo, or some big achiever in any of the field. At the time of death, everything is vanquished. Next life, one has to begin with A for apple, B for boy, C for cat. So the material advancement is hampered by time. Similarly, also the activities of the Gyanis, which are also hampered by the formidable time. But this time has no jurisdiction over the devotees. So devotees' achievements, they are never lost in the influence of the time. And there will be so many examples later. There is example of Bharat Maharaj, who became, next life he became a deer, next life he became Jadabharata and went back to Godhead. That lifetime after lifetime devotional service and the benefits of the devotional service will continue. Srila Prabhupada quotes here, Shuchinam Shrimatam Gehe Yoga Bhrashto Vijayate. The personalities who are incomplete in their devotional service, they will get a next birth, which is either in the heavenly planets or in the family of the devotees or in the rich family. so that they don't struggle for the material necessities, and they can focus on their spiritual activities, and their spiritual inclinations by right association will also be automatically revived. Even Yamaraj, Prabhupada writes, has no control over the devotees. Later in the 6th canto, when Yamudutas, they are defeated by the Vishnudutas, they become very morose. They approach their Supreme Lord, that is Yamaraj, and they begin to narrate what the discussion with Vishnudutas, and then Yamaraj very clearly gives them instruction. Tananayadhvam asato vimukhan mukunda padaravindam makaranda rasada shastram. That do not approach the devotees who are placing their head at the lotus feet of the Lord, who are prostrating in front of the deity of the Lord, or who are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, through their tongues. So even the Yamaraj, who is the ultimate authority and the Kala personified, who can destroy the universes with the blink of its time, has no jurisdiction over the devotee, because they are engaged in devotional service unto you, my dear Supreme Lord, and that is your glory. This is how Lord Shiva beautifully offers the prayer. The next verse is again a very amazing verse. Look at the verses after verses. We'll just recite it once and then we'll conclude here. So text 56, text 57. We'll just recite it. क्षणार्धेनापि तुलये
क्षणार्धेनेऽपि तुलये
न स्वर्गं न पुनर्भवम्
न स्वर्गं न पुनर्भवम्
भगवत्सङ्गसङ्गस्य
भगवत्सङ्गसङ्गस्य
मर्त्यानां किमुताशिषः
मर्त्यानां किमुताशिषः।
Very beautiful prayer. Kshanardhat api na tulayet. Even the half the moment of association of such a pure devotee cannot be equal to na swargam na punarbhavam, cannot be equal to the results of karma and jnana, because Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya, association of such devotees, Martyanam Kimutashishah, what can be a greater benediction for the Martyana, one who is about to die or eventually going to die, than the association of such pure devotees who are engaged in your service. Very amazing verse. So we will conclude here and continue tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.